Police say they found drugs during a raid on a Central Columbia home this morning. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Emma Balkenbush. Officers detained 5 people for questioning after the Columbia SWAT team and narcotics unit served 2 search warrants. The raid happened at 309 West Worley Street around 6:30 this morning. Police say no arrests have officially been made yet. KOMU 8 spoke with a neighbor who said police presence in the area isn't new, including last week's shots fired incident at the home. Another neighbor said he frequently hears loud music from parties coming from the house. Police are waiting for lab results and the investigation is still ongoing. We'll keep this story updated as details become available. Jefferson City Police arrested 19-year-old Terrence Wynn earlier today in connection with the death of Terrence Davis. The murder occurred on the 700th block of Michigan Street last Halloween. Wynn is believed to be one of 2 subjects involved with the murder. Wynn is expected to be charged by the Cole County Prosecutor's Office under second-degree murder, armed criminal action, first-degree robbery, and first-degree assault. Jefferson City's Lieutenant David Williams told us where the investigation lies regarding the second subject. Wynn was arrested in early November regarding armed criminal action and unlawful use of a weapon. Police say that case is separate from the murder of Terrence Davis.
Today, the Columbia Housing Authority announced its plans for more renovations to the city's public housing. The 90 units set for an overhaul include Bryant Walkway Apartments and Bryant Walkway Apartments number 2, northwest of the city. Upgrades range from new floors and windows to electrical and energy-efficient appliances. These upgrades will save anyone living in the new apartments about $50 to $100 a month in utilities.
We know that maintenance costs continue to rise as these units get older. The affordable housing equation is rent plus utilities, and since people living there are responsible for their own utilities, they don't like the high utility bills of these poorly insulated units.
Overall, the improvements will cost more than $14 million. It was pretty nice out there for December, but it looks like big changes are on the way. Let's check in with Michael for a look at the forecast.
Thank you, Brittany, and good evening, everyone. As she said, a pretty nice day out there today as we saw temperatures actually warm up right around 50 degrees here in Mid-Missouri as we look at our weather almanac for today, a high of 50 degrees. Not too far off from that average of about 45 degrees, and we're actually going to return to that for the rest of the weekend. But as we look at current conditions right now, satellite and radar, nothing to speak of, maybe a little bit of cloud cover outside. We're going to see more of that as we progress through the weekend. Temperatures right now at 37 degrees in Columbia, 32 in Jefferson City, and 30 degrees over in Boonville. And actually, winds right now are pretty calm for the most part, and we're going to see those remain calm for the weekend. But we are going to see some changes, as she mentioned, some rain possible for this weekend as we look at Saturday. It will actually begin Saturday night and continue into Sunday, and cooler temperatures are on the way with that system as well. We'll talk more about that rain chance and take a look at your 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
The holiday season is upon us, and unfortunately that means a bigger chance of fire hazards. Boone County Fire Protection says house fires are more likely to happen around the holidays. KOMU 8's Abby Breidenbach spoke with the Boone County Fire Captain today to find out how to keep your home safe this time of year.
Many house fires at this time of year actually start in the kitchen. Most people cook meals that take longer than usual, get distracted by friends and family, and forget what's in the oven. That's not the only thing to consider. Dried Christmas trees and frayed light strands are some of the more commonly known holiday fire hazards. Candles are also a common decoration that might be problematic. One Boone County Fire Captain has some simple advice to make sure you don't forget about your candles, lights, or dinner.
I always recommend set a timer and get a timer clock that's maybe different from the one that's on your oven or on your microwave, because those are sometimes not quite as loud or they blend into a conversation.
Another way to protect your home, be careful of your tree. If you buy a live one, it's best to spritz it with water to keep it moist, and it's better to be safe than sorry when you're deciding when to throw it out. In the studio, Abby Breidenbach, KOMU 8 News.
Thousands visited the governor's mansion tonight to see the annual lighting ceremony and tour the historic home. Governor Nixon and his wife lit the switch that lit up a 30-foot tall Eastern red cedar. Volunteers then led guests on candlelit tours through the mansion so they could see the decorations and learn about the house's history. People also got to shake Governor Nixon's hand and take photos with him.
We wanted to have fun and meet the governor so he can show of his house, and we thought it would be fun.
Visitors can still tour the mansion tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m.
Today marks the start of a new tradition in Columbia. Gunter Hans brought a customary German holiday celebration to town. Businesses set up shop on their back patio with lots of holiday-themed treats and trinkets to celebrate Christkindl Market. They celebrated with traditional German foods and drinks. About 40 local businesses took part in living windows, too. For many, picking out and decorating a fresh Christmas tree is a classic staple, but Columbia's very own tree farm may not be around that much longer. KOMU 8's Joe Jada shows us how the Hinkson Creek Farm may be taking a leave.
For more than 2 decades, the Alspaugh family has offered Columbia local and fresh Christmas trees.
We planted the first trees about 1985, and it takes about 7 years to grow a tree.
What makes this place unique is the experience of picking and cutting your own desired tree.
So when you cut them here, you know where they came from and you know they're fresh.
We marched around and the kids ran away from us and hid in the trees. And so as long as we could hear them, we just kept looking for a tree. I think most of the things that we do for Christmas, we do for the kids, like putting up the Christmas tree.
And that can make this family-friendly activity turn into tradition. For the Conrad kids, the best thing about the season is
probably spending time with my family.
But of course,
watching my dad cut it down.
However, to keep a perfect Christmas intact, someone needs to make sure the trees are up to scratch. John Alspaugh has done just that since the mid-'80s, but his father time making its way on the scene.
Here's the problem. I'm 79 years old and I have Parkinson's. And we're not sure how long we can continue. So there is some real question about what we will continue or not.
Still, business looks to be running smoothly this year, while national trends show an increase in the cost of fresh Christmas trees. Here at the Hinkson Creek Farm, prices have actually dropped to $4 per foot. Alspaugh taught statistics at the University of Missouri for about 4 decades after earning his doctorate at MU. He's seen a lot and his roots run deep in Columbia, so despite his age, it may be the people that fuel him to keep his farm running. Joe Jada, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
Alspaugh also credits help from families and neighbors in keeping the farm going. The farm is open on weekends from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 3 to 5 on weekdays.
One phone call with President-elect Donald Trump might change global politics. I'll tell you why after the break.
Donald Trump is making headlines again, this time for a phone call he was a part of that might change America's relationship with China.
Trump spoke with the president of Taiwan, which could send shockwaves throughout global politics. NBC's Peter Alexander has the details.
Exactly 7 weeks before his inauguration, President-elect Donald Trump's now raising red flags for a series of phone calls with world leaders, whose relationship to the U.S. remains complicated at best. Today, speaking with the Taiwanese president, the first contact between a president-elect or president and Taiwan since 1979, likely to infuriate the Chinese, who viewed Taiwan as a renegade province. It follows controversial calls with the heads of Pakistan, Kazakhstan, and the Philippines, whose president recently slandered President Obama's mother.
The wrong message could be received, so he should be fully briefed by the State Department before those communications.
Here at home, Trump's team is now planning a series of events similar to this rally last night in key states that propelled him to victory.
Our victory was so great. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the presidency.
The strategy to harness Trump's base of support, sending Washington a message that he'll remain an untraditional politician. What's clear, lingering bitterness will follow Trump into office.
We did have a lot of fun fighting Hillary, didn't we?
That instigating the crowd to chant, "Lock her up." Emotions remain raw. This shouting match between top Clinton aide Jennifer Palmieri and Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway during a post-election forum last night.
I would rather lose than win the way you guys did. No, you wouldn't.
This needs to be the very last.
That was Peter Alexander reporting. Meanwhile, Democrats are meeting in Denver to discuss their hopes of a promising future. 3 candidates to be the next chair of the Democratic National Committee presented their ideas at a forum with party leaders from across the country. The state chairs of South Carolina and New Hampshire, as well as Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison, have all thrown their hats into the ring. The election for DNC chair is expected in late February.
The death toll in the Tennessee wildfires have risen, while local leaders are now facing tough questions.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News at 10. We're taking a look at the time lapse over Rocheport today for December 2nd, 2016. A foggy start to the day over the mighty Missouri River. Temperatures, though, warming up close to 50 degrees. We saw lots of sunshine today, actually seeing above average temperatures for this first weekend of December. And temperatures right now out at Rocheport at 10:13 p.m. are at 33 degrees, so still right above the freezing mark. As we take a look at our forecast facts for the next few days, we are going to see some December rain for Saturday night and into Sunday morning as well. And after that, again, average temperatures are going to be with us for the beginning part of the week. But then things begin to get interesting as we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday with very cold temperatures with wind chills actually down in the single digits and possibly some snow flurries by midweek as well. Again, temperatures are the big story right now. Right around average for this weekend. We're actually going to get back near what we saw today, right around 48 degrees by Monday. But then the bottom really begins to fall out. You can see 36 degrees for a high on Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we're actually going to be seeing high temperatures only in the upper 20s with lots of wind as well. Temperatures right now at 36 degrees in St. Louis, 35 in Kansas City, and 23 out in North Platte, Nebraska. That's not too bad for the Midwest for this time of year. Usually, again, average temperatures are in the upper 20s by this point, and it's all because of some high pressure. That's why we saw a little bit of a warm-up today in those sunny skies. That's going to begin to move out of the way, and this low pressure system that's down in Texas right now is going to slide up from the northwest and give us some pretty good chances for rain tomorrow night and into Sunday morning as well. And let's take a look at the timing of that system with our precip cast. And you can see overnight tonight, again, mostly clear skies with a few clouds beginning to roll in the morning hours. You can see by about 9 a.m. beginning to move in across the southwestern part of our viewing area, and really throughout the day on Saturday. Again, increasing clouds, a very overcast day, but by about 9 p.m. you can see most of that rain has begun to move into the area, and it's not a very spotty chance. It's a very widespread chance of rain. It's very light as well, and again, the prime time for that will be between 9 and about 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. You can see about 4 a.m. This is when temperatures will actually be the coldest on Sunday morning, and because of that, maybe for our northern viewing area, you might see a few snowflakes out there, but right now it looks like more of a mix than anything for those Sunday morning hours. And by Sunday afternoon, most of that clears out of the area. And by about 4 p.m., we're actually going to see maybe a chance for some sunshine for our northern part of our viewing area. Again, how much rain are we expecting? Anywhere from about a tenth to as much as a quarter of an inch of rain. Again, a very widespread chance for rain, and nothing heavy, just light, and it's just going to be with us for a long time overnight Saturday and into Sunday. Another chance for rain, though, comes on Monday. Tonight, again, 29 degrees for overnight low. Patchy frost is possible because of those cold temperatures and those very light winds out of the northwest, and they are going to be light tomorrow as that system approaches. But throughout the day, we're just going to be right around 45 degrees average for this time of the year, very calm and seasonal. And by the time we get to about 7 to 9 p.m., we'll start to see some rain move into the area here in mid-Missouri. And again, those chances for rain move out by about the afternoon on Sunday, and another chance for rain rolls in on Monday afternoon. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when those big changes I was talking about. Right now, about a 40% chance for some rain as a big cold front's going to come through, and with that, very, very cold temperatures. A high of 26 degrees on Thursday. Morning wind chills when you're headed out the door Thursday, right around 8 degrees, very windy.
Anytime you're talking single digits, you know that is not a good thing.
But right now, doesn't look like any chances for snow, but continue to stay with us. We'll keep you posted on that.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
The jury in the Michael Slager trial met today. Later in the show, if they were able to reach a unanimous verdict. But first, here are your lottery numbers. Good luck.
The death toll has risen from the Tennessee wildfires, with 13 people now confirmed dead. Many property owners got their first look at their homes today, and local leaders now face tough questions about whether they waited too long to order evacuations. NBC's Chris Pallone reports.
For people in Tennessee's Great Smoky Mountains, moments of anxiety and anticipation.
Well, there is something still there.
As they get to check their homes and businesses for the first time since wildfires swept through the area earlier this week. For Carolyn Stecker, good news indeed.
It came all the way up to the back, but none of the house. It smells a little bit like smoke, but it doesn't even smell real bad like smoke.
Well, thank you, Lord.
Okay. Officials say at least 1,000 structures throughout Gatlinburg and surrounding towns were damaged and destroyed by fire. And now 13 people are confirmed dead.
We have one person that passed away that not as a direct result of the disaster, but had a heart attack. I think they were fleeing from the fire.
State and local leaders are defending themselves from questions over whether they waited too long to order mandatory evacuations.
There's only so many ways you can notify people. Mass notification. We can go to door, which we did do.
Well, what we're getting into is folks that don't know this area and got Monday morning quarterbacking.
As leaders assess their response, we're learning more about the incredible effort some people took to escape the flames.
We're 82 years old. Now, going down a mountain is not on the exercise chart.
Like Daryl and Robert Hollander, who lost their bed and breakfast to fire, but not their lives.
Fire was blowing across the road. And so I didn't know of another way to get down from where we were easily. So you just cover up your mouth and we'll run right straight through it.
The National Park Service believes the fire was caused by humans, but is not yet sure if it was intentionally set. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Meanwhile, rescue teams are still searching through the rubble for over 50 missing people.
The jury in the Michael Slager trial told the judge earlier today they had trouble reaching a consensus. The jury will continue deliberations Monday. Slager is a former South Carolina police officer who was charged with the April 2015 death of Walter Scott. Judge Clifton Newman says the jury needs to keep trying to come up with a decision. If Slager is convicted of murder, he will face 30 years to life in prison. Authorities in Louisiana are defending their decision to release a man who admitted to shooting and killing a former NFL player. 54-year-old Ronald Gasser admitted to killing Joe McKnight during an apparent road rage incident near New Orleans yesterday. Police say they are not ready to charge Gasser, so that's why they released him. They also said they are still gathering facts and will continue to do so.
Missouri Volleyball hopes to erase 2013's crushing loss in the NCAA tournament. Sports is next.
From the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
You forget the wins, but you never forget the losses are the things that always stick with you, unfortunately. But, I mean, I just, they're a great team, and they were a great team then. They're a great team now.
That was Coach Correclo of the Missouri volleyball team. And what you see behind me, that's the celebrations from this past Saturday as the Tigers won their second SEC championship in just 3 years. Jubilation, celebration, that quickly back in 2013. Same scene, soured into shock and defeat with a first-round loss to Purdue in the NCAA tournament. Missouri had a few ghosts to put to rest, as you heard, against the Boilermakers, so that this continued for just a bit longer. Packed house tonight as Missouri and Purdue gathered at the Hearn Center. First set, Missouri had set point here. The Tigers defense comes through. It's Alyssa Munlin and Courtney Eckenrode up at the net. They would get the point as the Tigers take the first set 25-13. Purdue takes the second set to tie it up at 1-1. Third set though, Carly Kahn gets things going for Missouri as a vicious spike here gives Missouri the 25-16 win in the third set with a 2-1 lead. Match point now for the Tigers in the fourth set. Tigers defense takes them to the promised land thanks to Munlin and Melanie Crow. Missouri is headed to the Sweet 16 as the Tigers flip the script, beat Purdue 3-1. Crow had a career-high 25 kills. Here's her reaction to going to the Sweet 16.
I cannot believe I'm going to the Sweet 16. Like, I cannot believe it. I never expect this. And I don't think Coach will ever truly understand that he changed my life. So, thank you for that.
Just across the street at Mizzou Arena, the Mizzou women were also looking for a win on the basketball court. The Tigers hosted their in-state counterparts, the Missouri State Bears, tonight. Missouri hasn't lost at home to most states since 2003. Missouri riled up for this one in the pregame huddle, yelling, "This is our state," and they would prove just that early on. The Tigers draw first blood as Sophie Cunningham finds her sister Lindsay, who sinks the three. Tigers up 3-0. Then later on in the first, see Coach Pinchton there. Sophie herself with the acrobatic play here at the glass, gets the bucket. She finished with 22 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. Missouri up 22-15. Even Truman's loving it. More of the same in the second half. Great ball movement. Sarah Michaelis finds Sophie Cunningham for the finish. The Tigers go on to win 73-49. That winning streak against Mo State continues. The Norm Stewart Classic kicked off tonight, benefiting coaches versus cancer. Let's get right into it. Game 1, Rockbridge taking on Waynesville. Little girls basketball action. First quarter, Paige Peterson gets things started with a three-pointer, giving the Bruins a 3-0 lead. A lead they would never let go. It's Ellie Brown driving to the basket. Beautiful right hand off the glass. She was at it again with a fast break pass. In transition, Peyton McAllister giving Rockbridge the 14-7 lead. Brown finished with 16 points on the night. In the second half, Rockbridge ran away with this one thanks to another fast break basket as the Bruins win it by a final of 74-51. Game 2 featured the Battle Boys team taking on Poplar Bluff. It was a back-and-forth game throughout the first half as the Mules sophomore Dominique Hardiman takes it coast to coast, puts it home, forcing Battle to take a timeout. However, the Spartans coming back as Daviante Ostrander gets the little left-hand lay-in off the glass. The game was tied at 26 at one point. Poplar Bluff had a slight 30-28 lead at half, but in the end, Mules were just a bit too much. Hardiman gets the pass and draws the foul and won. Poplar Bluff wins it 67-62. Here's a look at some notable games also Saturday. In about 6 hours, yes, at 4 a.m., Helias girls tip off against Incarnate Word. If you're a fan of sleep, well, you can wait till 6 p.m. if you want to see Class 3 defending champion Tolton starts the season against Poplar Bluff. Hickman follows the Trailblazers as well at 8 p.m. against Liberty North. The Missouri men's team, they got the night off, but they will kick things off tomorrow against Western Kentucky at Mizzou Arena. The Tigers were humbled at home, losing to North Carolina Central 62-52. Missouri must now move on against the Hilltoppers team that will take on them tomorrow. Coach Kim Anderson knows slowing down is the way to go.
Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News today. Starting tomorrow morning, the Missouri Symphony Society is hosting its annual holiday home tour.
And we'll tell you why they want to bring awareness to classical music and what the tour will be raising money for.
Taking a look at that forecast for tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to start near the freezing mark, and we're not going to warm up too much. Only a high of 45 degrees tomorrow with lots of cloud cover, and eventually by Saturday evening we're going to see a chance for some rain, and that'll stay with us until Sunday morning. Temperatures warming to a high of 46 on Sunday. We're back near 50 degrees for Monday, but by midweek, big changes, possibly some snow flurries and much colder temperatures. Again, Thursday, Friday mornings, wind chills down in the single digits.
Get ready
hearing that.
Get ready for it. I think that it's only going to continue to be cold from there.
Probably. It'll only get worse before it gets better.
It is December. That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.